What if one of the most common arguments against God depends on a mistake that detectives, doctors, and scientists are all trained to avoid? People often say, "You believe in God because you were raised that way." Others point to activity in the brain and conclude that God is nothing more than a product of the brain. But both arguments depend on the same hidden assumption. When two things occur together, one must have caused the other. That may sound reasonable, but it confuses two ideas that are not the same: correlation and causation. And confusing them can turn a genuine clue into a completely false conclusion. Imagine detectives arriving at a crime scene. They discover a broken window, footprints in the mud, and a suspicious car leaving the neighborhood. Those details may be connected, but connection alone does not solve the case. Correlation means that two things occur together or change together. Causation means that one thing actually produced the other. Consider a simple example. Ice cream sales rise during the summer. Drownings also increase during the summertime. Eating ice cream does not cause drowning. Hot weather causes more people to buy ice cream and more people to go swimming. The correlation is real. The supposed cause is false. Every morning, a rooster crows shortly before sunrise. The rooster consistently comes first. But timing alone does not prove causation. The rooster announces the sunrise. It does not produce it. Doctors understand this distinction well. A patient takes medicine and begins recovering. Perhaps the medicine caused the improvement, but perhaps the patient's immune system was already overcoming the illness. Perhaps another treatment made the difference. Perhaps the original diagnosis was incorrect. That is why controlled testing exists. Scientists do not stop when they notice a pattern. They compare evidence, eliminate alternatives, and test whether the proposed cause actually explains the effect. The same mistake appears in everyday life. A baseball player wears the same socks during every winning streak. A student uses a lucky pencil before every exam. An investor notices that the market rises whenever a certain commentator appears on television. Patterns are easy to notice. Real causes are much harder to prove. History is filled with impressive correlations that produced false explanations. For centuries, many people believed disease spread through foul-smelling air. Bad odors and sickness often appeared in the same places. So the conclusion seemed obvious. The correlation was genuine, but the explanation was mistaken. Later discoveries showed that bacteria, viruses, contaminated water, and other factors cause many of those diseases. The unpleasant smell sometimes pointed investigators toward unhealthy conditions, but the smell itself was not necessarily the cause. Correlation provided a clue. It did not complete the investigation. That distinction matters. Correlation is often where careful reasoning begins. It should not be where careful reasoning ends. Now let's return to the arguments about belief in God. A person may learn about God from parents, teachers, or even from a church. But explaining how someone encountered a belief does not determine whether that belief is true. A child may learn mathematics from his parents. That does not make mathematics an invention of his upbringing. Brain activity also accompanies every thought, every memory, and every decision. But showing which parts of the brain become active during prayer does not prove that God exists only inside the brain. A radio produces electrical activity while receiving a broadcast. Studying the radio may explain how the signal is processed. It does not prove that the radio created the broadcast. The evidence may reveal a relationship. The interpretation still requires an argument. Whenever two things appear connected, several explanations remain possible. One may cause the other. The second may cause the first. A third factor may cause both, or the relationship may be accidental. Without additional evidence, choosing one explanation is not a discovery. It's an assumption. Correlation is a clue. Causation is an explanation. One tells investigators where to look. The other tells them what actually happened. The invisible premise is this: because two things appear together, one must explain the other. But seeing two events walk side by side does not mean one is leading the other. So when someone presents a correlation as though it settles the case, you should ask, what evidence establishes the cause? And then consider one final question. Could the same facts fit another explanation? Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.